Thanks for checking out our Midwest Coasting blog. We're kind of continuing our series here on introducing different styles of boats, and obviously the winter blues still upon us, so getting out and talking about boats is a good thing to do, especially for me. So this session we want to talk a little bit about center console boats. It's something that's a little bit new at the Lake of the Ozarks. We're seeing more of these boats pop up around, the waters here, and we've invited Randy Kent, owner of Lotto Marine, to visit with us a little bit, and we're going to pick his brain and his expertise around these boats. So Randy, first of all, thanks for taking a few minutes of your time.
Thank you.
Spending with us. As we talk about the boats themselves a little bit, why do you think the center consoles, as you do, will continue to grow in popularity, and why are they a good fit, that style of boat, for the Lake of the Ozarks?
I call them the ultimate Ozark boat, and it has something for everyone. Mm-hmm. And a perfect example is if you have a guy that has a big Sea Ray cruiser, mm-hmm. probably the most popular boat down here at the Ozarks.
Agreed.
Okay. Not every time do you want to go out to eat and have to jack around with a big cruiser.
Right.
Sometimes it's just you and your wife, or you and your wife and the kids, and it's a perfect second boat because it has just as much, if not more, room than what a Sea Ray cruiser would have in the salon or the cockpit.
Right.
And it's more usable. So therefore, it's a perfect second boat for that. You got a guy that maybe is a performance boat, and as a lot of us know, insurance has really hit the performance boat market. Mm-hmm. The Go Fast boats are very expensive to insure. Well, maybe they're not quite ready to get out of the performance boat side.
Right.
So it makes a really good, what we call a crossover.
Right.
Guys from performance boats are getting into the center consoles because they still look sexy.
Yeah.
Okay. They're very sleek. They're very performance orientated. Mm-hmm. But yet it's got all the creature comforts that the wife likes. Let's face it. You've got a nice bathroom,
right.
shower, and a bed. Mm-hmm. It's got air conditioning if you want it. It's got a lounge up front so they can lay out, listen to the stereo. It's got really nice seating up front that's safe. It's a high gunnel, so mm-hmm. you don't feel like you're going to fall out of the boat.
For kids, very important, especially here.
Exactly, and kids like to walk around. They're active. Yep. And it's great for swimming off of. The back of the boat is just a few inches above mm-hmm. the water level, so they can just jump right in. So it's great for the performance guy. He doesn't really have to sell it to the wife, right? I mean,
that's hard to do.
No, so you're really starting to see these more and more on the poker run circuit.
Right.
Then, for your everyday boater that maybe is out looking for an open bow because that's what they've been, bred. We need a family boat. You think open bow.
Right.
Well, this really kind of becomes the ultimate open bow. A lot more room. Mm-hmm. Handles the rough water so much better.
Right.
More fuel efficient.
Yeah.
You can get about 2 miles to the gallon mm-hmm. Instead of so many gallons per mile.
Right.
So they're really efficient, and there's no maintenance really.
So overall maintenance of an outboard versus your stern drive or inboards, less maintenance costs for an average boater. Obviously, fuel efficiency you talked about, but annual maintenance. You obviously don't have winterization costs if you're paying for that.
Correct. Well, you don't. Everything is built in one package that bolts on the back of the boat. So you don't have you don't have an engine at one section. You don't have a transmission on another piece of the boat. You don't have mm-hmm. a lower unit at another piece of the boat. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of moving parts. A lot of things go wrong. A lot of things that need maintenance.
Right.
You don't have that in outboard.
Right.
Everything's in one unit. So, and what's really nice is, let's say you buy one that's 10 years old. Mm-hmm. You're not ready to move into a brand new model. Mm-hmm. You want to move in 10 years old. That motor comes off and a new one goes on for a fraction of the cost, and you can be out boating in 2 hours.
Great point.
So the boat itself may be in phenomenal shape,
right.
but the motors have 800 hours on them or
right.
something like that. Well, no big deal.
Flexibility.
Yeah. So it's just the boat, in my opinion, the boat's going to last longer. You're going to get more use out of it. And the overall, just the cost of ownership is a lot less.
So for the Midwest coasting families out there, especially with kids, I mean, they're deep. Kids can walk around. They're mm-hmm. safe. They provide a head or air conditioning if you've got one with a cuddy option. You can get around the lake safely, a little bit lower on cost, maybe from no winterization. You can use it year-round. So a lot of benefits to this style of boat.
And especially as much boating as you do, they're a lot more fuel efficient.
Yeah.
So
and that's
like
more important.
Like on our boats, you can go 600 miles on a tank of gas.
Yeah.
Well, here at the lake, I mean, that's, half the season.
It's a lot of boating. So Nortec is the line of boats that you're carrying, and I think center consoles have kind of got the reputation of being a fishing boat first, more so. That's kind of where we see them down in Florida and places, and they're rigged up for that. So Nortec has a little different approach. So if they're interested in the center console, interested in talking to you, and why should they talk about and think about Nortec?
Well, the Ozarks, if you want to go fishing, you're not looking for a center console. You're going to look for a bass boat, something like that. The center console design did come from offshore fishing. Nortec took the approach. First of all, Nortec's heritage is performance boats, V-bottoms and catamarans. And when they got into the center console, what they did different, instead of building a fishing boat first and then kind of converting a fishing boat over to a pleasure boat, or what I call, like a luxury crossover,
right?
They did that right out of the mold, right out of the design. So, when we custom order ours, it still has a live well. It still has rod holders. It has all those things, but they did it in such a fashion it's all hidden.
Right.
The rod holders, for instance, are actually cup holders.
Right.
And if you look down in it, you'll see a place to stick a rod. The live well is there, but for down here, it makes it a great place to store our boat bumpers and our fenders and our lines.
Right.
So you don't have to use it as that. But what's nice about it, and what we call the rocket launchers along the top, you see the rod holders?
Right.
That actually unbolts, and accessories can bolt on like a ski tower, so you can pull inner tubes from it. That is an accessory so you can change that on the top of the boat.
Nice.
Instead of being welded on, you can't do anything about it. I personally don't like the looks of them, so we don't want them. We want accessories we can put tow toys with and so forth. All the lighting in the boat's LED. You never change a light bulb. Everything's computerized on the dash. They've really designed the boat as a luxury performance boat out of the gate. And if you want some fishing stuff, we'll put it on there.
Yeah,
and
you got the option.
That's what sets Nortec apart than everybody else. Is other fishing boats are like, hey, we need to try to make these more of a pleasure boat.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they don't have the room. They don't have the style. They don't have the layout. The ergonomics is really important in a pleasure boat. Where a fishing boat, all they want is a flat deck and some room, and then they try to modify it, and that's just not the way Nortec did it.
Well, they're focusing on that first, and that probably puts them lead in the pleasure boat center console market, I'm sure.
They are, as far as the pleasure boat center console, I'd say they're the leader in the industry.
For somebody that's interested, wants to take a look, I know there's no inventory.
I wish I had some.
They can check your website, get a hold of you in the spring. Hopefully, if there's something, you'd be more than happy, I'm sure, to show them around.
Absolutely. If not, if I don't have one, every one of our customers who have bought one are happy to show them.
Great.
So,
appreciate you hanging out with us. Thanks for taking the time, telling us a little bit about center consoles and Nortec.
Absolutely.
And please give Randy a call. We'll share his information if you got any further questions. Otherwise, stay connected with Midwest Coasting through MidwestCoasting.com. We'll check with you next time. Get coasting.